So Ghana Meteorological Agency is a state institution established by an Act of Parliament, Act 682, to provide weather and climate services for socio-economic development of Ghana, and also ensure that international standards are maintained. Our strategic objective is to ensure that we save life and property, provide weather and climate services to save life and property and for socio-economic development. Strategic goals hinges on three main thematic areas: to improve income generating ability or capacity of the agency. We are also working hard to ensure developing human capital of the organization, and also ensure that we improve logistics and infrastructure of the organization, and above all, improve weather and climate service delivery. And so these are main strategic goals for the organization. For us to be able to deliver, we need revenue, we need resources, we need what Nigerian man will say, kudi. Yes, cash. The cash flow must be improved. Have regular, secure source of funding. Again, after getting the funding, you need logistics, you need infrastructure to aid you to be able to deliver on your mandate. But you have all these things without the human capital, you achieve nothing. Therefore, we need to build on the human capital of the organization, capacity building. And we do all this to ensure that we improve service delivery to achieve the mandate of the organization. Climate change is something that is with us. We are all witnesses to it. We deal with all the weather parameters. We collect this data, we analyze them, we quality control them, and we archive them for a period of about 60 years and above. And so looking at the analysis of this data with respect to temperatures, precipitation, which we call rainfall data, wind speed, wind direction, we talk about humidity, and then sunshine directions, and we go to the marine side, we look at the tidal waves and things like that. If you look at the analysis, it's obvious that when it comes to temperatures are gradually increasing. And so temperatures are increasing over the period. So when you talk about climate change, you're talking about change over a period of about 30 years. So you have a long-term mean. That's where the data from long-time data collection is critical. So you're using about 60 years, 30 years data and analyze the trend. And then you can see a shift, or you can see that there's no shift. Then you can talk about whether there's a climate change or there's no climate change. So looking at temperatures, it's obvious that the temperatures are increasing over the period. If you come to precipitation, that's rainfall. Rainfall, we can talk about variabilities. And so if you are looking at the graph, you see that when it comes to temperature, you draw a graph, you start from a point and kind of increasing. And so you will notice that there's a gradual increase when it comes to temperature. When you come to rainfall, you see that it goes up and come down, goes up and come down, goes up and come down. And we call it variability. In total, we can't say rainfall are increasing or are decreasing that much. It's very insignificant. But the times that the rain comes, the volumes of rainfall, the distribution of the rainfall, there's a lot of changes in it. So we could talk about variability. And so rainfall has that variability happening. We come to tidal waves, the sea erosions, or they call it coastal inundation. It has to do with floods that happen at the coast. And if you analyze the data, and that's why you can see government building sea defense here and there, because the sea is eating into the land. In fact, one of my offices in we had to abandon that office because it's now getting into the sea. All the offices, government bungalows along the offices along the coast have left the place because the sea erosion is intensifying and getting into the land. And this also has something to do with climate change, because as the icebergs and the glaciers are melting because of increase in temperatures, it's making the sea rise. As the sea level is rising, then it's pushing into the land. So that's where you see more of a coastal inundation. And so all these are examples of what climate change has brought to us. This year, we are all witnesses of what happened in the north, where there were a lot, we call it long dry spell, a lot more period within the rainfall period that there was no rain. That affected the farmers in the north and have their crops, drying. And that has caused a lot for government to cover about 8 million USD to try to survey the situation. These are all indication of what climate change is bringing to our humanity. So climate is really changing, and something must be done about it. Else, at some point, it will be difficult for human beings to survive. If the temperatures keep on rising and get to a certain level, certain plants will not be able to survive, and that affects our life. So climate change is with us. Now you see Accra, everybody wants an air condition. Why? Because there's warming. And the more the temperatures are rising, we're having more warming situation. You're also asking for more air conditions. Air conditions are emitting CO2 into the system and increasing the temperature. You are in your room feeling the air condition, but somebody outside is also feeling the heat. And so it's a very difficult situation that the whole world is grappling with. In fact, by next week, specifically 11th to 22nd, there's going to be COP29 at Azerbaijan, a place called Baku, and to the World Climate Summit that's going to look at this climate change and its effects and mechanisms to, addressing it, either through mitigation or adaptation measures. So climate change is with us, and all of us have a responsibility to make sure that we reduce the rate of change so that we can have life for ourselves and our future and those yet unborn. And a lot of things are being done in that area to equip the organization, expand our network of stations. In fact, gradually we are moving from, so what the way we do our work is to collect the data, as I said, analyze the data, archive it, and then use it for the analysis. The more data you have, the better your analysis. So we call it the density of the data. The better your forecast, the better your research that you can do with the data. And so we did a lot more data. In fact, now gradually we are moving from manual way of collecting the data to automatic way of collecting the data. Gone are the days we have manual stations that are manned. If you still, we have them about 21 in the country, manned by people 24/7. So every hour, our staff will go to the station and collect the data, record them and transmit, and then register them in their books. And on the month, they send the register to headquarters. And then people have to key in this data into the database to make it available for researchers to use it to do their work. But now, gradually, we are moving away from this manual way of collecting the data to automation. And so plans have gone far to get a lot more automatic weather station. In fact, starting from 2018, we got our 10 of the stations bought for us under e-Transform project, sponsored by World Bank, which was under Ministry of Communication. And then in 2019, under another project called GASIP under Ministry of Agric, also added 12 more to our stations. And last year, GMET from GOG, Government of Ghana, bought 4 more of the stations, and under Garrett project, Greater Accra Resilient Project, also bought for us 2 high standard, we call it synoptic station, 2 of it, and 18 rainfall stations for the agency. In fact, this year, under another project, that's phase 2 of Youth Transform project called Ghana Digital Accelerated Project, GDEP. They are buying for GMET, the project is buying for GMET 105 different type of automatic weather stations to expand our data collection capabilities. And tender has already taken place, evaluation done. We are waiting for approval from World Bank for the contract to be signed. And when that is done, as much as 105 different type of automatic weather stations, specifically 25 synoptic type. That's the high-end automatic weather stations that collect all the parameters that we need in our work. And then 40 rainfall stations and 40 agromet automatic weather stations. And it will go a long way to augment our collection capabilities, even though we need more. In fact, for us to cover the whole nation at 5-kilometer radius, where every 5-kilometer radius we need a station, we need about 600 of these stations. But at least if for just within a year, we are going to get about 105, it's a quantum jump, which we appreciate and thanks the government a lot for this investment that's being made in GMET. Again, under Garrett project, they're also buying one important equipment that we need called radar. The radar is a very important equipment that will help us be able to detect any storm or system that is being developed, localized, or moving system, to be able to analyze and be able to give a forecast, to give good lead time for people to prepare to save life and property. But with radar, we'll be able to even tell the volume of the rainfall that is going to come. And Garrett is buying one for under the project for Greater Accra. And we need about 5 of them to cover the entire country. Again, we also do forecasting for marine, those who go on sea, and we don't have any equipment in collecting data from the sea. And under this GDEP project, they are buying one equipment called a buoy, and we put it in the sea and give us the sea surface data to support our forecast. And so we are doing a lot now. A lot more is going to be done. Just this last week, we launched early warning for all initiative by the UN Secretary General here in Accra, with the support from WMO and UNDR, as United Nations Disaster Risk Reduction, and all the other stakeholders. And what we did, had 2-day workshop that followed the launch, where we have done the analysis of the gaps that we existing equipment that we have, the gaps, and then we are drawing a roadmap to see how we can fill this gap. And so we believe with this mapping and the gap analysis and the roadmap, we'll be able to have the mobilize the necessary resources to help us get what is required for us to be the best of the institution that we are looking for. Let me quickly also add that under another government project financed by World Bank called Food System Resilient Project, FSRP. Under that project, GMET is supposed to provide a forecast to support food security. And in that project, they also bought for GMET this year 20 synoptic type of automatic weather station that has been installed. And in that project, we are also expecting them to buy for us an integrated management information system that will integrate all our data sources from the automatic weather station, from the manual station, from the radar, from the satellite, from radio sounds, and all the sources that we don't even have them now. We get them. This system is going to integrate this data and then model it and generate the forecast automatically, and then link it to GAP system that Ministry of Agric is developing, and also share it with the general public. And that equipment alone is going to cost not less than $2.8 million. And under the project, World Bank have approved, an advert has been sent out there, advertised in the papers, and the tender closed 1st November. Tender was opened. And so we get out the equipment. It's also going to automate our forecast generation. So we are using automatic weather stations to automate data collection and use management information system to automate the processes and generation of the forecast, and then disseminate it to the end users. We believe with all this investment in the organization, GMET will be able to deliver on its mandate for socio-economic development of Ghana. That has been a big challenge for the dissemination and even the format and the language. These are technical institutions, and sometimes we are a bit technical in our communication. Before now, or until recently, GMET has been relying on the traditional media, using emails and some radio stations to disseminate our information. But in the advent of social media, GMET has taken a good advantage of social media. We are on the social media platforms. We have various WhatsApp groups, but we have close to 3,000 members on our WhatsApp groups. We also have an Instagram accounts, Facebook accounts, a Twitter account. We have a website, and so recently we got a new website supported by WMO called a Content Management System, with a very interactive, beautiful website that we have developed to also support our dissemination. But all these things are technology-based. The question is, how do you reach out to the rural community? And so this year, our concern was, well, after using all this social media and electronic means of reaching out to the people, we need to engage some of the rural communities directly. And so we had a couple of user engagements that we have done with various communities, and also train some media groups. We did a training for a media group in Tamale, in the northern region, first quarter this year. Did another one in Ho, and did another one here in Accra. Had about 5 of that training for stakeholders and the media houses and the media practitioners to be able to understand our language, our terminologies, and our content, and then support us in disseminating the information. As I said, we also engage when it comes to like agric extension officers. They have an association called Rails, and we have joined that Rails. So in their meetings, we have the Met people participating, and this we have done with the support from Policy Link that have facilitated this arrangement. So we engage the farmers and the extension officers at the district level, at the regional level, to let them understand our forecast and also help disseminate the forecast. Again, last year, we started a new initiative which we call the Green Climate Clubs. So we launched Green Climate Club last year in Tamale, where we established 10 clubs in the northern region at the school level, secondary school level. And then this year we expanded it to Oti region, where 10 more was established, and 4 was also established in Upper West. We want to get the youth involved, catch them young. These young guys or children or students become an ambassadors for the organization and spread their message, and also influence their parents and their peers to be mindful of the activities and how it affects our climate, and also be interested in the information that we churn out. Quickly, let me also add that for the past 2 years, we've put together a communication team, not just a PR, but a communication team that are trying hard to push our message out there. And we have 10 what we call a one-day WMO Day celebration. In every year, March 23rd, is WMO Day celebration, March 23rd. In Ghana, we've turned that celebration into 1 month awareness creation. So we call it Meteorological Awareness Month. We started this in 2023. We've done it 2024. We'll do 2025. It's going to be a feature in our way of disseminating the information. So we have actually set up a whole month to create more awareness on the work that we do and get our users to appreciate it and use the information. As we did early warning for, we bring in all other stakeholders on board to be part of the early warning to save life and property. So we are using multifaceted approach to reach out to the users, and we intensify our engagement with our users, especially the farming communities, to make use of the information to save us from what happened this year in the north of Ghana. We need investment in various sides of the organization. For instance, even the data collection I spoke about. Even though we are getting a lot more now in terms of equipment to collect the data, there's a long way for us to go. I'm targeting 5-kilometer radius with automatic weather station, and I'm talking about 600 to cover the whole Ghana. And I'm now around 46 plus the 105 coming. That will put me about 150. I still have a long way to go. That's for automatic weather stations. Again, I spoke about radar. I need about 5 or 6 to cover the entire country. I'm not going to get one. And so I need a lot more there. When it comes to buoys, the one that I need to cover the ocean and our inland waters, especially the Volta Basin. We need about 20 of them. I'm just getting one this year. And so I'll need more there. There's one equipment that collect data vertically in the atmosphere. We call it radiosonde. Actually provide the atmosphere vertically. We don't have one in Ghana. We need at least 2 to be able to collect that data. So when it comes to data collection alone, there's a lot more that we need. These technologies, we can't get all these technologies and integrated system that I'm talking about to automatically generate a forecast in the dilapidated structures. And so we need our offices needs to be modernized, need to have a very strong connectivity, internet connectivity. As we are going automation, we need your engineering team and IT team strongly in place to make sure that we don't lose data. When the equipment stops transmitting, there should be a team that can quickly move in to make sure that you don't lose data. So you need some vehicles to enable you to do quickly appraisal visits to make sure that the equipment are running. As I said, strong IT backbone or technology know-how to make sure that all these systems are also running. And you need power, electricity to make, or solar to make sure that you don't have lighthouse to truncate either downloading data or transmitting the information. And so there's a lot more that we need. Build capacity of the staff to be able to generate a lot more services than what we are generating now. Now we have what we call a nowcast, that's short now to short rain forecast. That's what we have 6 hourly to 3 days forecast to 1 week forecast. We call that one short rain forecast. We also come up with our seasonal forecast. In between the now and the seasonal, there's 2 weeks to 2 month forecast called soft to seasonal forecast that we are building capacity to be able to add to our services. Beyond the seasonal forecast, we look at the outlook of the year. We need to do a projection, 50 years to come, how the weather is going to be. It's so critical for planning purposes because a district assembly or municipal assembly or DC or government trying to build, say, a drainage. Its objective is to build a drainage that can last next 20, 30 years. Rainfall can still be able to accommodate by this drainage. If it doesn't have that information, how the rainfall is going to be in the next 30 years, you will build a drainage today. In the next 10 years, you need to break it and build another one. And so climate projections are critical, very long range forecasting. In fact, we are building that capacity with Danish Meteorological Institute to come out with a climate atlas. But I speak to you, 11 of my staff are in Denmark currently. They left last Friday just to build their capacity on how to develop a climate atlas. They are in Denmark Meteorological Institute as I speak to you. And we hope to launch that first climate atlas for Ghana in March next year, 2015. And so we need to build capacity of the staff to be able to do this, apart from getting all the logistics and getting the equipment and modernizing your offices. You need to build a capacity of the staff and move into some areas that we are not generating services now. One critical area that we want to do now is air quality forecasting. We want to be able to predict tomorrow air today. And we need to build that capacity. In fact, recently I sent one of my staff to Egypt, the BREMO training program, to build capacity in air quality. And today they've designed some templates that we are going to use, start working towards that. We need equipment to correct that data to be able to do that. And we need to build capacity to be able to do that. Our cash flow must be seamless to ensure that we have funds to be able to support all these things that we want to do. Government in 2019 amended GMET Act to give specific funding from the service we give to aviation to some percentages to GMET, 10% landing charge, 10% en route, and 5% airport tax. Still, we're having challenge with Ghana Civil Aviation from honoring the details of the act. But Ghana Airport Company have started paying us direct, which has improved our cash flow tremendously. And we hope Ghana Civil Aviation will follow suit to provide secure source of funding. That's the objective of government, to provide secure source of funding for GMET to be able to deliver on its mandate. And so a lot of things have been done, a lot more needs to be done. We are working towards it. Rome was not built in a day. Hope gradually, with the determination and fortitude, we will get there. GMET has come a long way. GMET is on the path of prosperity and delivering efficient and effective weather and climate service to save life and property and to support socio-economic development of Ghana. In doing so, GMET have worked hard to, with the support of the government, to get logistics. And a lot more is being done to support the organization to improve its data collection. Also, some clearance last year was given to GMET to recruit as much as 250 new staff into the organization. And we are grateful to the government for that. Again, as I said, GMET Act has been amended to provide secure source of funding to the agency. And Ghana Airport Company and Ghana Civil Aviation Airport Company is complying with the Act. It left with Ghana Civil Aviation to also come on board, and that will give GMET the necessary financing to be able to deliver on its mandate. And we're also doing a lot of training, capacity building to build the capacity of the staff, and plans are also underway to modernize the offices of the agency. In fact, just last 2 weeks, government handed over 75 computers and laptops to GMET, 120 tablets, 3 pickup vehicles, and 35 interactive boards or screens to support us have workstations that will have a display of our analysis on these stations, and 10 advertising boards that will be placed in a very vantage point of this country where the weather will be screened on it. And they supplied this just last week. And very soon we are going to install one whilst to test it. And so a lot more is being done, a lot more needs to be done. But now Ghanaians are very aware of their weather, and they are seeing the climate change and how it's affecting us. The only institution that can help provide early warning, weather and climate information to inform decision making is Ghana Meteorological Agency. The institution needs to be supported and encouraged to deliver on its mandate, and that will touch various sensitive sectors of the economy. That will help in the development of our country. Thank you.